The year was 1912. I had just turned 15. The first snowfall had just landed overnight. My father had brought home a radio. The moment he turned it on, a beautiful male's voice rang through the room. The voice was entrancing. All I could think about was his voice. I loved it. His voice was intoxicating. Over the next few weeks, I would listen to his voice and fall in love with him. I had been engaged to a man only a year older than I. I hated him. My mother and father loved each other, to the point where it was annoying. The engagement was my mother's idea. Alfred was a man from a rich family. He was unkind and disrespectful to those around him. He thought of himself as above everyone he met. He had hit me a few times. He never said he was sorry. It was as if he didn't care. After a week or two, something clicked in my head. I could just kill Alfred as my father showed me. I felt my lips form into a sinister smile. After a week of planning, I grabbed a shovel and a kitchen knife. I went to the room where he slept and slit his throat. I felt my smile widen. It felt so wonderful and beautiful. I grabbed his body and brought him to the woods. I dug a 6 feet deep hole and threw him in. I buried him there, and then I disposed of any evidence, which also included my clothing. I lit a match and watched as it fell to the bloody clothing and lit up. I let out a small, insane giggle. After the fire had died down, I made my way home and put on clean clothing. After I cleaned the blood off my skin, all evidence was gone. With that, I lay in my bed and closed my eyes, falling into a peaceful slumber. I dreamed of what the radio host might look like. Oh, how it made me feel, the thrill and unknown feeling. I had awoken the next day in a wonderful mood. No one noticed that Alfred had vanished. They didn't question it till a week later. After months, they gave up. 5 years have passed, and I've killed countless more. Of course, all the corpses were never found. I buried them all. Along the way, I started making headstones. I also developed an odd ability. When I touched an object, I would gain everything from its creation till the time I had received it. I was able to interact with certain objects that my favorite radio host once had. I learned his name was Alistor. I learned where to find him. When I did find him and noticed him, time seemed to come to an abrupt halt. I took in every detail from his head to his toes. I felt that feeling for even more now. I wanted to speak with him, but I couldn't get the courage to. I once followed him. I found that he was like me in a way. He was a killer, and oh how it made me want him more. But I held back. At one point, I wrote him a letter, detailing everything I felt about him. He was my muse, and he didn't even know it. Other women tried to flirt with him, but he paid no mind. So in the dead of night, I killed every one of them. He was mine after all. No one could have him. It was the year 1933. I was cleaning the house while listening to the radio, when I heard that my beloved had vanished after getting caught. It was a week before my 25th birthday. I dropped the glass I was drying and ran out the door. The radio had said that they lost him in the forest nearby. I ran towards it. After an hour or two of running, I came to his corpse. He lay pale and cold to the touch. He looked as if dogs had gotten a hold of him. His skin was covered in bite marks, and his face was almost unrecognizable. I buried him later that day under a large tree. I marked his grave properly. Someone will pay for taking you away from me. I lied the red rose atop his grave and walked away. The next 3 weeks passed in a blur. I don't remember much, other than adding to my body count. In the winter of 1933, a hunter with a bow had shot an arrow right through my neck. So everything went black. When I woke up, I was in a strange place. I was surrounded by buildings. A few had glass. I stood and made my way over to one. I looked at my reflection. My brown hair had changed to a royal purple and got longer. My once deep green eyes, now a soft orange with the yellow whites. I opened my mouth to see sharp, light yellow teeth. I had bunny ears, the same color as my hair. My nose had a black tip. I turned around to see a fluffy tail, colored the same as my hair. My skin had turned gray from its rosy complexion before. Someone passed by. They seemed to be an animal hybrid. "Hello," I greeted them. "The fuck you want, Toots?" he said with a rude tone. "What is this place?" I asked. "Hell, Toots." There was no escaping it now. I smiled widely, clenching my fists, drawing black ink to drop to the ground. It began to form blobs. After the blobs formed at some point, a man, and said, "Kill him." My tone was dark and unforgiving. At that, they moved forward, killing him. After that, I blinked out, and when I woke, I was on a pile of bodies, as tall as buildings. I was satisfied for now. Of course, my thoughts roamed to the thought of Alistair and his honeyed words. I shook my head, holding back temptation. I am known by a few names. I am Alice Stormwood, the Ink Demon.